Hey guys, what's up? It's Jack and welcome back to another video, and I apologize ahead of time if my voice sounds off. I've been having this throat problem over the last 3-4 days, but thankfully I'm getting to the other side of that now. So finally taking the correct uh, correct medicine for it. So and been spending a lot of time resting and also a lot of time thinking, and it kind of just hit me, and here we are today. Um, I've pretty much decided to hang up the sticks when it comes to multiplayer shooters. In terms of where gaming is today, the way games are made today, and all that other stuff, even on the content creation side of things, I don't belong here anymore. I feel like I don't belong here anymore, and I am I'm kind of like a fish that's in the wrong body of water, and I've decided to swim back to a more proper body of water for somebody like me. Uh, 41, age 41 is not age 25. That's for damn sure. And I started doing this whole YouTube thing when I was 30. So it was already later at that point as it is. But after 10 plus years and everything else, it's like, even if my health was at optimal stages, even if I had, the best case scenario for everything I've got going on right now, the fact of the matter is that I probably wouldn't have a lot to offer, and I wouldn't have a lot of gas left in the tank. And for those of you guys that are watching, that are like perhaps in your 20s and stuff like that, that are watching, trust me when I tell you, you'll have a much better understanding beyond just words and beyond concept when you do finally make it to around my age, which is 41. So, and the thing is, I feel like I really don't have much more to offer Splitgate 2, to be honest with you. And on top of that, when it comes to the content creation and everything else like that, it just, like, I immerse myself so deep into it, and I do it willingly. But what ends up happening is, especially right now where I am in my life, and as well as some other things that have been going on in my real life situation, it's like what ends up happening is it comes with a price that's a little too steep. I spend way too much time doing this stuff willingly, to the point to where other aspects of my life that also need attention, that are important, and I'm not talking about work. Work will always be work. Family members will always be family members. Those things will never get neglected. However, other aspects of my personal life start to kind of take less of a priority, and therefore they get neglected when they shouldn't be. So now I think, as far as multiplayer shooters are concerned, and content creation as well, it's time for multiplayer shooters to completely stop. And as far as content creation goes, that's kind of a question mark. But when it comes to just playing casual games, just regular single player games or whatever else that's not multiplayer shooters, it's time for that to kind of be a supplement to my life, as opposed to something that is such a big part of my life that not too many things can enter, because you've only got so much space in your life. You know what I mean? So with that being said, when I look back from when I first started gaming, the best memories I've ever had was when I was playing a multitude of games, not just multiplayer games. And again, like I said, where multiplayer games are now, the way they're made, the whole social media scene, the competitive scene, the mindset scene, it's not my generation. My generation has a completely different mindset and different standards. And the kind of standards that are today is just not, it's just not something for me anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, and on top of that, again, I'm 41, dude. I'm 41. This is a young man's game. This is something for, this is something for like a J-Bo Enderman, for instance, as a prime example. You know, someone who's in their mid 20s or so, all the energy in the world, a vision, success under their belt already, and a very, very potential career, something that can take them forward in the long run. You know what I mean? I certainly am not in that position, and I sure as hell am not at that age. So it's like, hey, it's I just, like I said, I feel like I don't belong here, and that's something that I'm very willing to accept, and I'm just going to go swim back into the body of water that I belong in. Simple as that. So, but with that being said, I'm very proud of all the stuff that I did for, in terms of covering content for XDefiant. I'm very proud of the stuff that I did with Splitgate 2 as well. And I still wish the best for them. And I still think that Splitgate 2 can pull it off. But Splitgate 2 is fighting two fights, not one. they're not just trying to convince the community, but or excuse me, they're not just trying to you know, get the game to the state to where it can be where it's supposed to be, but they're also needing to convince the community as well. And the way content creation works nowadays, and all these different influencers that can literally destroy games just by making a couple of, you know, videos saying negative things about a certain game that could very well be a solid game, is actually enough to bury a game or to cause a significant amount of impact that keeps the game from reaching its full potential. And that's just a sad, sad fact. And that's another reason why these content creators are called influencers, and which is why I'm taking us. That's why I'm stopping this whole YouTube thing, as well. You know, as well as everything else that I mentioned. It's like there's really not much I can do. There really isn't. So especially as I kind of sit back and just rest and then just listen or watch videos about this whole Call of Duty and Battlefield 6 thing, you know, people that love the game, people that hate the game, people that continue to call out all the BS and all that kind of stuff, people that continue to defend a game, shill for a game, back and forth, you know, bait and switch, all that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, this stuff really isn't for me. Rather be doing something else. Rather be finishing chapters of my life that have gone, that are kind of like question marks. And I think it's time to check those things off, as opposed to leaving them as question marks, especially when you consider life in its own way kind of tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, there's great stuff here too. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you consider the fact that there are people that are coming back into my life that haven't been in my life for decades. And the thing is, they reached out to me. So it's like, you know, can't ignore stuff like that. So when you put it all into perspective, I think it's time, you know, but hey, I did this whole thing willingly, you know, and I enjoyed a lot of it. Most of the time, I had no idea what the hell I was doing, but at the same time, it was fun. You know, that's why the reason that's the reason why I did it. So, as far as my other channel is concerned, or what I'm going to do from here on out, it's kind of a question mark. I might just stream random games, but I won't be streaming as often, at least not as often and as much. But multiplayer shooters I'm done. Like, I'm completely done. And single player games of the past and the future that I've missed out on, and am missing out on, are, you know, kind of where my attention is as far as games are concerned. But at the same time, I want to treat it with a little bit more balance, kind of like when I was younger, to where I would still enjoy video games. They would be a significant part of my life, but so would all the other things that need to be in my life as well. So with that being said, guys, I guess I'll see you either on stream on here, just streaming random games, or at my second channel. I'll leave a link in the description at Jack's Arcade 327, I believe, but I'll leave a link in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So just thought I'd make a video informing you guys. And if there's any comments you guys want to say, I'm obviously always willing to read all the comments you guys have to say. And in closing, I also wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has ever, for whatever reason, decided to subscribe to my channel, join the stream. And there's even a few times to where some people, you know, did some super chats, you know, towards the end over here a few months ago on stream, you know, subscribing, I mean, all that stuff. Even back when I was on Twitch, or where I spent time on Twitch, you know, and for those of you guys that have been here ever since COD, thank you. And to all the devs out there and the pro players, or anybody that I've ever that I've ever been in content creation with, you know, a lot of guys over the years, Jay Buendaman, Difo, GCP, and a few others. You know, I'll never forget. There was one gentleman that gave me a shout out when I was at 4 subscribers. He saw one of my videos somehow back during the Call of Duty Ghost days, and he gave me a shout out, and he had 50 subscribers at the time. And I ended up getting 10 subscribers, and then that's when my momentum officially started, slowly but surely. Because when you're starting this whole YouTube thing out from scratch and not knowing what the hell you're doing, you know, you're lucky if you get a view or more than 5 views total in a video, and you got to kind of build yourself up from there. So Um, yeah, it was Man of Afros. That's right. That's who that was. And here we are, you know, I don't know, 10 years later at nearly 5,000 subscribers. I know it's not a lot, but well, if you've been around since around the very beginning, you'll probably know, you know, uh, the ups and downs and lefts and rights and in order to get to where we're at. Um, so yeah, wherever you guys started watching me for whatever reason or listening to my videos, thank you. It's really a privilege to have, you know, done content, you know, with you guys listening on the other side, because it takes two to tango, and that's what makes it fun. If it was just me, it wouldn't have been as fun. It takes two to tango. So, and with that being said, as always, thank you all for taking the time to watch and or listen. Take care.